Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Norlin Ebel Ame. First, the news highlights. Trial of suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, on false declaration of assets commences as Prosecution Counsel opens his case. Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, advocates speedy dispensation of justice at the trial courts. Plus, federal government reaffirms commitment towards maximizing hydropower potential to boost Nigeria's economy. And now the news in details. Trial has commenced in the alleged false declaration of assets by the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, at the Court of Conduct Tribunal. This follows the appearance of Justice Onogen to answer to the count charge preferred against him. Olabode Arewa reports.
The Prosecution Counsel Ali Umar, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, tendered Code of Conduct Bureau forms and 5 other documents before the tribunal to prove that Justice Onogen tried to conceal the existence of 5 domiciliary accounts with the Standard Chartered Bank, but only declared his 2 accounts with the Union Bank. The first prosecution witness, James Akpala, also made presentations before the tribunal. The defense counsel, led by Adegbo Igawumolo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, objected to the admissibility of Justice Walter Onogen's Code of Conduct forms for the year 2014 and 2016, alleging that they had been tampered with. The defense also alleged that the prosecution had made advance arrangements of the court processes on the 10th of January 2019 to charge Onogen well ahead of the commencement of investigations. The defense counsel refused to make comments.
I'm not going to comment about what the witness said because that is a matter for the court to assess.
The trial has been postponed till Thursday, 21st of March 2019. This is to allow Justice Walter Onogen to appear before the National Judicial Council, NJC. With the trial against Justice Walter Onogen continuing at the Code of Conduct Tribunal here in Abuja, the prosecution as well as the defense are expectant that justice will be done to the matter. From the Code of Conduct Tribunal here in Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Thank you, Olabode. And in the meantime, officers of the Temple of Justice are again tasked to continuously strive to enhance easy access to justice. Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, made the plea at the commencement of a national workshop for judicial officers administering justice at the lower courts in Abuja. Dele Atumbi reports.
Seated here are judges from area, Sharia and customary courts across the country. And the #1 judicial officer, the Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, is using the opportunity of having this category of judges to reiterate the important role their courts play in the administration of both civil and criminal justice in the country. Justice Muhammad reminded them that the constitutional role of the judiciary as an arbiter should be guided jealously and pointed out that actions and inactions of judges must always be in consonance with the Code of Conduct for judicial officers. He urged judicial officers to ensure the protection of human rights by finding and giving expression to the basic rights and freedom to which all human beings are entitled.
Democracy insists on the respect for the rule of law. Its principles also advocate the independence of the judiciary, the doctrine of separation of powers, guarantee of fundamental rights, freedom of expression epitomized by free press and media, as well as free and fair elections.
The administrator of National Judicial Institute, Justice Rosalind Bozimo, said the conference will avail judges at the lower courts the opportunity to cross-fertilize ideas in different areas of law.
To this end, the speedy and expeditious resolution of cases before your courts is highly encouraged.
The convergence of judges from area, Sharia and customary courts is to improve dispensation of justice at the trial courts. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Away from judiciary to politics now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has urged the people of Kwara State to forge a common front in supporting the just elected governor of the state when he assumes duty. This, the minister said, is necessary to enable him remain focused and govern the state with the promises made as the focus of his administration. The minister stated this at an APC family get-together in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Anthony Folson reports.
In attendance at the meeting were party leaders, stakeholders, and a cross-section of sons and daughters of Kwara who have come from far and near to contribute to the Otoge movement, which has brought victory to the party, just as they celebrate their liberation from maladministration and bad governance. Taking turns to make observations, contributions, or outright expectations from the governor-elect, the people were quick to remind the governor-elect not to dampen the morale of the people by reneging on his campaign promises, but should carry the people along and make their welfare his priority. It is against this background that the minister called for caution in expectations.
Be patient with us. It's easier to destroy than to build. We would be mindful of our responsibility towards the people of Kwara State. We appreciate the huge mandate you're giving us and will live up to expectations.
He said the victory they celebrate today is as a result of a collective sacrifice made by all. The governor-elect, who took note of all observations, comments and expectations, assured that their mandate will not be denied them as his administration will start from the scratch. This little boy who caught the minister's attention had also come with a request, asking the incoming governor to pay attention to education and health. In Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And in Kano, leaders of under the auspices of Concerned Citizens Initiative have urged political parties to avoid overheating the political atmosphere in the state ahead of governorship rerun. They also demand for a healthy electioneering campaigns and shun acts capable of destroying the future of youth in the state. Chairman of the initiative, Bashir Othman Tofa, said this while addressing journalists ahead of the rerun governorship election in Kano. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Following the March 9th governorship and state assembly elections, as well as declaration of governorship result inconclusive, the Kano Concerned Citizens Initiative has been intervening positively to ensure peaceful atmosphere in the state. This meeting is aimed at informing other stakeholders on the need to give peace a chance and to forestall unnecessary tension or violence that might arise during the rerun election.
It is also very necessary to plead with all the arms of our security architecture to remain alert and vigilant from now until the formal declaration of the rerun elections and after. Sufficient personnel must be detailed and posted to each of the police stations and local governments of the state that make up all the votes that were cancelled by INEC.
The initiative pleaded with the electoral umpire to live up to expectation by providing election materials on time in all the affected polling units.
CCI also pleads that results of the election outcomes must be publicly announced without delay. The onus is on INEC to deliver a foolproof election. Any act of commission or omission would be squarely placed on its shoulders.
Kano Concerned Citizens Initiative therefore urged youth in the state not to be used by political parties to trigger violence before, during, and after the rerun election. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And on education, Minister of Education Malam Adamu says the continued attitude by state governments deliberately refusing to provide counterpart funding for basic education, if not stopped, the federal government will have no option than to use its strategy of deducting the money from SARS. The minister stated this at a media briefing on the efforts of the present administration to provide a total matching grant of 350 billion naira to fund basic education in the country, as against 92 billion naira provided over 6 years by the previous administration. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that Malam Adamu also noted that corruption and lack of political will, among other reasons, have been responsible for most states' inability to provide their counterpart fund to enable them access the matching grant provided by the federal government for universal basic education.
During the 4 years under review, the government of President Muhammad Buhari provided a total grant of 350 billion to basic education in the country. As we said, this is conditional. Unless states pay their own counterpart funding, they don't get anything. The government decided now, or from now on, to be deducting it from source, so that states do not suffer as a result of the mistakes of their government.
The minister said the grant is for procurement and supply of textbooks in various subjects, construction of classrooms, provision of library resources, and training of teachers. Still on education, as the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB fixes date for the 2019 UTME and its mock examination, the board says any candidate who cannot be identified through biometrics verification will not be allowed to participate in the 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloide said this at a stakeholders meeting on strategic planning and preparations for the supervision and evaluation of the administration of the 2019 UTME in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
It is the gathering of stakeholders and academicians from universities, polytechnics and colleges of education in Nigeria, as the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board streamlines preparations for the conduct of the 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloide warned candidates and officials against the use of prohibited items during examination.
The chief examiner, no discretion about it. Anybody who cannot be verified on the biometric cannot write our exam.
With a robust bank that is properly safeguarded in place, the JAMB board says efforts are on to ensure candidates with special needs like the visually impaired and the deaf have their own examination centers. Some participants at the meeting, divided into groups, also offered suggestions on how to conduct a hitch-free examination.
The members be given a means of identification so that if the need arises, they can call on the police or any law enforcement agency. If we educate our people on the ills, we will gradually withdraw.
The stakeholders meeting is expected to provide a strategic plan that will ensure an improvement on the 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Meanwhile, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has fixed 1st of April for the 2019 mock examination and 11th of April 2019 as the commencement date for the 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, which is expected to last for 5 days. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Elsewhere, building and sustaining cultural identity across the multicultural divide have become rather shaky, mostly among the younger generation of Nigerians. To arrest this disturbing trend, Cherryfield College at its 6th Biennial Cultural Day 2019, with the theme, The Effects of Losing Our Cultural Values on the Society, The Way Forward, brings students abreast with various cultures from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Uche Ugochukwu brings us the details of the event.
From westernization to local migration, some Nigerian cultures are going extinct, reason being that most children who should transfer them to future generations know nothing or little about their native land.
We have states, we have community from where all of us came from. So the society, community make us society. And that is why it is very important that we should be able to belong to one, to be part of what God gave us.
Cherryfield College, Abuja, takes time out of academic activities to acquaint students with their ways of life.
It is necessary for us to come together to celebrate the beauty of our people, to promote their elegance, highlight their strong point, and share it with other people. Such giving and taking will foster a more cordial relation, especially in a country like our Nigeria, with its huge cultural diversity.
In Cherryfield College, we try as much as possible to bring the culture close to the children.
Typical in every culture, presentation and breaking of kola nuts preceded parade by the diverse cultural groups and the Commonwealth of Nations. Cultural displays charged the atmosphere as parents were not left out of the glamour.
Adventure people have different cultures to show among us.
With culture, we can all unite each other.
It makes me feel happy.
Give kudos to Cherryfield to have talked about this program. I think it's the way to go. Our children must be taught our languages.
Prizes were awarded to the best 3 geopolitical zones, with the South-South emerging the overall winner. Uchi Ugochukwu, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International. Time now for a break. The news continues shortly.
NTA International. This is where the news begins. Every breaking news and developments on the African continent.
Welcome to NTA International News. State House correspondent Hamza Musa.
In-depth news analysis and professional perspectives on all sides of the story.
Experts say the issue of security
national energies and resources must be mobilized to promote mass.
Every day on NTA International, we take you inside Africa and the world.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thank you for rejoining us. Federal government says it is now ready to intensify effort towards maximizing the hydropower potential of the country. Water Resources Minister was speaking in Abuja as he received the full business case FBC compliance certificate of the Gurara hydropower from the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICR. Musbao Dan Wahab reports.
With less than 7,000 megawatts of electricity, Nigeria's government is harnessing every aspect of its energy mix to shore up the power supply capacity. Gurara hydropower presents such opportunity, at least to improve the socio-economic activities of Kaduna State and its surroundings. But then, the 30 megawatts and job opportunities that this project promises are literally stranded here due to a substation and transmission line still required to evacuate the power. So, the government opted for concessioning to unleash the Gurara hydropower potential.
We feel that we're working in tandem with the policies of government, and we think it's the right way to go, because we can't build such facilities with huge amounts of money and leave them lying fallow.
Congratulations.
And here is a full business case FBC compliance certificate presented to Minister of Water Resources after the selection of a preferred bidder. The ICRC also presented the outline business case certificate on the 136 megawatts capacity Mayan hydropower in Taraba State and Bawarko hydropower in Benue State with 182 megawatts capacity, signaling commencement of concession arrangements.
So our interest here as ICRC is to ensure that this is done in line with international standards, because that is what will pull in the investments that will take Nigeria to the next level.
Signing and finalization of the agreements with the preferred bidder will now wait for the approval of the Federal Executive Council. In Abuja, Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
Thank you, Musbao. And for developments from the world of business, Rachel Shaibu is standing by.
Welcome
Welcome to Business News. The annual rice production of Nigeria is put at 8 million tons annually. This is contained in the statistics from the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, with 12 million farmers who are engaged in the production of the commodity. It further indicates that farmers are producing an average of 4 million tons per cropping season, with the country having 2 rice production seasons per annum. President, Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, Aminu Goronyo, says Nigeria has no option than to put a total ban on rice importation before the end of the year. He says the association is collaborating with the federal government towards reducing the cost of production. Meanwhile, electricity distribution companies have not effectively implemented the methodology for estimated billing issued by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, Professor James Momo, says the provision of the methodology require that all distribution transformers are metered so as to have a scientific means of deducting the consumption of customers who have meters from the distribution transformer meter. Investigations by the Commission reveal that a total number of 5,172,979 electricity customers were registered as at May 2012, but only 2,893,701 had meters. That's it from here. I am Rachel Shaibu. Enjoy the rest of the news.
Very well, Rachel. For stories from other parts of the globe, here is Adebola Brucelin Sunday.
Reports from the Democratic Republic of Congo says a train has overturned, killing at least 24 people, mostly children, with more than 30 others injured. The accident in Kasai province involved a cargo train carrying stowaways. Police say several wagons fell into a river and the number of victims could rise. It's the third rail accident in the area in recent weeks. Many trains in the Democratic Republic of Congo are said to be old, dating back to 1960s, and most tracks lacking proper maintenance. In the meantime, a gunman has opened fire inside a tram and at several other locations in the Dutch city of Utrecht. Media reports say several people have been injured and one is feared to have died. Trains and trams have stopped running and schools have been asked to keep their doors closed. Counter-terrorism police reportedly say the shooting appears to be a terrorist attack and have asked for photos of the attack from members of the public. In a related development, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is set to announce detailed gun law reforms within days after an attack on 2 mosques that left 50 people dead and 50 others injured, which police say the gunman acted alone. Jacinda Ardern said her cabinet has backed gun law changes in principle. Adebola Brucelin Sunday, NTA News.
Kenaima Budeke brings us details on sports update.